What is going on, Atlanta Falcon fans, man? Y'all know what it is. Your boy, Antoine Smith. Stopping in right quick. Give you my quick thoughts on an article I read on Bleacher Report. Moton gave his ranking for all 32 teams, one player from each team that he thinks is going to be a bust in 2026. So it was no surprise who he chose for the Falcons. We all, I mean, not we all, but guys like me, were very skeptical of what's going to happen with this guy. And he's beating the odds. As you see it, he's getting back to moving around. He's getting back to throwing the football. Mr. Michael Penix is the guy that he chose. And again, a lot of us had in our mind, we didn't know how it was going to end. As far as him being ready for training camp, him being ready for preseason, him being ready for week one. But he already came out and said it, that he was going to be ready week one because he's getting back, doing his thing, training the right way, getting healthy. And that's what you're supposed to do as an NFL quarterback. But here's what Mr. Moton had to say about Mike Penix and why he thinks he's going to be a bust in 2026. This is really no surprise, man, because like I said, we all skeptical at some point. But it seems like the media and a lot of Falcon fan, man, shout out to y'all. A lot of y'all, been getting on me, that I want him to fail, and that's not true. But a lot of y'all standing behind him 10 toes down, and I can respect that. But he says Michael Penix will compete with Tua for the starting job in a crucial offseason that can change his career trajectory. And that's true. That's for both guys. You look at Tua, who's coming over from Miami on a big deal. They took a $99 million dead cap hit on him to make sure he get off the team, and the Falcons got him for $1.3 million. So that is, to me, that was a win for the Falcons. But as far as Penix's career trajectory could be absolutely true. Because who knows? If he does not make it with the Falcons, could that mean he could not be a starter anywhere else in the NFL? In the right system, under the right coach, I think he can. But we know how difficult that could be. We've seen former starters. Didn't make it with that first team, ended up being career backups. Matt Shaw left Atlanta, went to Houston, ended up being the starting quarterback there. But after he left Houston, hey, that was it. You have other guys. But a true story of redemption, and it showed last year with Sam Darnold, this is why you have to have optimism for Michael Penix, because that could happen to him just as easy in the right system, under the right coach. And I'm just saying. But say he's off to a slow start. The third year sitting in college, still recovering from a partially torn ACL. Didn't clear him for 11-on-11 drills this spring, and that's probably, normal because, like I said, it's a long recovery period. But by default, Tua Tagovailoa has the upper hand battling into training camp, and I've been saying that for God knows how long. As the Falcons started from the previous two seasons, Penix doesn't have the advantage of being an incumbent under a new coaching staff, and the reason why he doesn't, last stuff, as we've been saying, they fumbled the bag, they fumbled him. Zach Robinson was absolutely terrible with play calling. They didn't have a quarterback coach in place. So he really, to me, was set up to fail. And I keep it real like I always do. You see what this staff did. They went out and got 3 to 4 coaches, which Raheem Morris said he did, which we found out was a lie. Because T.J. Yates was the wide receiver coach after Ike Hilliard was fired. And he was working with the quarterbacks as well. But Zach Robinson was trying to do both, and he had no experience in either, really. So it was just a disaster. And you look at 14 games, and he only has 14 touchdowns. That lets you know he still has some developing to do. And what better coach to do that than Alex Van Pelt? But we've been talking about that. Not going to get into it. But he has a chance under Van Pelt to bounce back. All he has to do is get healthy. And as I told y'all, I can see a little bit of back and forth between these quarterbacks during this season. At some point, whichever quarterback is in rhythm with this team and in rhythm with this system may carry this team all the way through 2026. But he said Penix doesn't have the advantage of the incumbent. I read that on the new coaching staff. By the start of the preseason, Tagovailoa may be in pole position for the lead role, and we all know that. Even if Penix wins the competition, 59.6 completion percentage rate could cost him the job. And as I've been telling y'all, one thing I do know about Kevin Stefanski, he likes accuracy out of his quarterbacks. But what coach and offensive coordinator doesn't? You look at Shador. He played better as the season went on. Started off a little bit slow, but we'll see what he do in Cleveland. You look at Dylan Gabriel. He had a couple of starts. He did decent. Showed promise at times. But Deshaun Watson, he's healthy. He's been in the last 4 or 5 years. So let's see what he can do in Cleveland. But again, he took Baker Mayfield in his third season, came in, won Coach of the Year, and you think about Baker Mayfield throwing 34 interceptions his first 3 years, end up having a career year in that third season. So it could happen. And he's absolutely true. The completion percentage is everything. Tua has a 68% completion percentage for his career, and he's played in 100 and something games so far. So yeah, experience is everything, and that's what they're going to need at the position, especially going forward. Because as I tell y'all, even though we might not want to believe it, they spent the number 8 pick on Michael Penix, but at the same time, do you really want to spend another high draft pick on a quarterback? And I don't think they'll do it. That's what I'm saying. It's either Tua, Penix, Strand, or they go out and get a high-dollar quarterback next year. With a win-out team, you got to do that. But him being a bust in 2026, it's no surprise that Moton said that because a lot of us, are not saying that he's a bust, but we're going to say that, when will he be ready to go? And when he's ready to go, we'll see what we have in Michael Penix. And him and Tua got to stay healthy. Let's keep it real. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't just say he's a bust. I would just say wait till he hit the field, see what he can do. And then after the season, we'll see where he stands. Because I feel like if he had a better chance in those first 2 seasons without an interruption in Kirk Cousins, he may be far ahead of the curve more than where he is now. Because we all know Michael Penix is mentally strong. As long as we go with that strong arm, and we seen in college that he can rack up numbers and rack up yards and things of that nature. But I think it's just certain things he got to work on, footwork. I know it's going to be a while before he get that mobility going in that knee. So I'm not expecting that. But at the same time, just be a game manager. Go out there and try to win football games. Be a game manager if you have to be till you get yourself right. But I still don't think he'll bust. But do you? Do you think Michael Penix is a bust? I mean, Moton from Bleacher Report thinks he is, but I don't. Drop them comments in the comment box, man, and let me know. This your boy, Antoine Smith signing off. I will holler at y'all soon, man. Peace.